Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Network Savvy, the podcast for network marketers that are building their business to six figures through sales funnel. Again, thank you guys so much for listening in. And those of you who are actually watching, we certainly appreciate it. And remember, you can always place your comments in our under the video, and we'll be happy to either answer them or get back to you. Again, thank you so much for joining. My name is Kimbra. I am your passive income diva, and I am a passive income strategist as well as a network marketing consultant. And so I help you increase your bottom line by helping you make sleep coin, is what I call it, sleep coin. And that's that money you make in your sleep. So again, I am really excited. As you all know, this is something new that I am embarking on, and something that I've really never done before outside of my live broadcast. But we are here to start something new because, as you know, as a business owner, we try so many different things to make money, to increase our bottom line. And you see, it seems like everybody else is making it and you're not. And so I thought, I began to think, is what I'm doing, is it working? Is it working? And it seemed like you try so hard and nothing works. And so I created this podcast so that you can walk with me through my journey to six figures. Yes, I said six figures, because if he can do it and she can do it, I can do it. And so I have that faith today that it is going to happen. And I have a wonderful special guest today that I'm going to bring on in a moment. He is a successful business owner that deals with sales funnels, which is what we focus on in his network marketing business. And so we are going to be talking to him today. We're going to get up close and personal, as I love to do. And we are going to go behind his business, and we're going to go behind the scenes to see what he has done in his business to be successful. So again, if you know somebody who can use this information, you send them on over. Okay, that's www.anchor.fm/network savvy. And again, we'll have all the information in our show notes that you will be able to keep that link, and you will be able to listen to future broadcasts as well as podcasts. So moving right along. Okay, Mr. Vladimir Adonis is the host. Well, first, he's an entrepreneur, and he is a host of a podcast called Business Convo. The podcast shares a series of entrepreneurship stories, both pitfalls and light bulb moments. The stories are meant to highlight that all entrepreneurs have setbacks. Amen. Okay. And those who stay the course usually succeed. The stories shared on this podcast will do one of the two things. First, it will help those who are already on a journey to keep going regardless of roadblocks. Second, it will motivate those who have been thinking about starting a specific journey to take the first step. And without further ado, we are going to have Mr. Adonis join us. Hey.
Hey, how's it going? I'm very excited to be on this show, by the way. Thanks for inviting me. Thanks for having me.
You know what? I know it's been a back and forth thing, but I'm very determined, and I wanted to have you on. And I remember when I first saw you on YouTube, and we'll give everybody that information about where to find you. But when I first saw you on YouTube, I was like, okay. I was like, he's doing his thing, and it's like you're doing what I'm trying to do, and you're where I'm, a place where I am trying to be. So I wanted to have you on so that you can give not only me insight, but give our listeners insight on what they can do and how they can build their business through sales funnels and network marketing. So welcome.
All right, no problem. Thanks for having me. I'm definitely happy to be here, most certainly.
Yeah. So the first thing I want you to tell us, give us a little, let's get up close and personal. Tell us something about you, where you're from, if you're a family man, what do you do for fun? Tell us that first, and then we'll get to the business side of it.
Yeah, so essentially, I want to kind of just start off by where my family is from. My family is from Haiti. So my mom specifically decided to migrate to the country of the United States for, a better life per se. So we came here. I came here when I was young, about 8, 9 years old, and we migrated to a place called Belglade, a small town, migrant town in Florida. So that is the place where we started off. And when we started here, the first thing that I noticed is that my mom came here for a better life, but it did not appear to be that way because we were living in a one-bedroom apartment, and that one-bedroom apartment had about 7 of us living there. So you had 7 people living there, and things were just very, very difficult. My mom was a migrant worker, which means she worked outside. She worked very seasonal. The job was very difficult. She had people back home in Haiti that depended on her from a financial standpoint. So, from the beginning, it seemed as though things were very hard for us financially. So that is when I decided, I said to myself, you know what, I'm going to do whatever it takes one day that I don't have to have the same limitations per se as my mom. And
Right.
that's one of the things that inspired me to try to work as hard as I possibly can so that way I don't have to repeat that same cycle per se.
Wow. Wow. That is amazing. Now, where do you live now? Are you there, or are you in the States, or where do you reside?
I'm residing in Boynton Beach, Florida now. So I reside about an hour and 20 minutes away from Belglade, Florida, which is where I grew up. So the first thing for me is that because I saw things were just so difficult for my mom, I said, hey, I was going to try and find some type of avenue to allow myself to be successful. And that first avenue for me was to try and work hard and do very well, from an education standpoint. So I did that, and because I knew that would allow me to kind of do well from a financial standpoint. So I did that, and I accomplished those specific goals. But at some point in the road, you say to yourself, okay, success is defined by having a good job. Success is defined by having an education. What else defines success? So for me, the other thing that defined success was business, which is why I work with an individual. That individual was a programmer, and that individual helped me build my first, website. The first industry that I got into was a dating website. I spent about $30,000 on a dating website because I said to myself, you know what, that is an industry that's going to be around for a very long time. So that was my first business venture per se, because I wanted to see how I can get into business, and to me, it made logical sense to go in that specific route, in that specific avenue.
Yes. Wow. So how did that go? How did that website go? Do you still have it, or?
I'm glad you asked. It was a complete disaster. It was a complete failure for so many reasons. I think the first thing that I did not know how to do when that website launched is that I had no idea as it relates to from a marketing standpoint. So here are some of the things that I tried from a marketing standpoint. So the website launched. The website had so many bells and whistles. So you think about a website that's designed for dating, and it's also designed as a dancing platform whereby people can share dancing videos. So the idea was that there's a lot of individuals that go to dance venues, and a lot of individuals go to dance venues alone. So my goal was that I wanted to give people a platform whereby they can go ahead and meet someone prior to going to the dance venue. So instead of going to the dance venue by yourself type of thing, meet someone before you go to the dance venue. That was the idea, right? So that was the goal. So spent 30 grand on it. And then the website launched. I was extremely excited, very excited. And what I started to do is I started trying to promote the website. So I promoted the website via 2 different methodologies. I tried Facebook, and I didn't try Facebook via the paid methodology. I tried it via just a random methodology. That didn't work. I tried a couple of different social media platforms. Those things didn't work. And then I was like, you know what, let me go offline. Let me try to promote this specific thing offline. And I bought about 20,000 business cards. When I bought those 20,000 business cards, the thing that I was doing is that I was going to various dance venues. I said, you know what, this website is about dating. It's about dancing. Let me go to the various dancing venues and try to pass out my card that way as well. That didn't work. So those 2 things did not work. The third thing I tried that didn't work is that I said to myself, you know what do successful business owners do, right? So if I can't to figure out this whole marketing thing on my own, if I'm a successful business owner, what do successful business owners do? And the thing that successful business owners do is that they hire someone to do the work for them if they don't know what they're doing. So that's precisely what I did. I hired my first marketing company, and I was very excited. I said, you know what, finally I'm going to start to reap the benefits of being a business owner. And my first marketing person, my first marketing company that I hired gave me 0 results. I mean, I didn't get any results whatsoever. That person told me that I had to wait about 8 months. And then within 8 months, I started kind of just some results, 0 results.
And you could be bankrupt in 8 months.
So, that didn't work. Then I hired the second marketing company. If I mention this person's name, this person is so well known in the industry. I hired, so my second time around, I said, I'm not going to make the same mistake when I hire someone that's well known. And guess what? That specific individual, that didn't work either, right? So that specific individual actually put me back further than the first individual. So that is when I went on a mission to try and learn as much about marketing as possible. So that's how my marketing journey started.
Oh my good. So imagine if they had sales funnels back then, or if you was using
right.
sales
If I knew
right. Okay, and we are certainly going to get into that. But before we do that, so now, have you ever worked in corporate America? Like, have you ever worked a 9 to 5?
Oh yeah, certainly, definitely. Yeah,
right.
definitely.
So now, do you still currently do that along with your online business, or are you just strictly online?
I do a combination of both.
Okay.
Yeah, I do a combination of both. But yeah. So sales funnel, you're right. If I knew about sales funnel at that time, I mean, things would have been completely different.
Yeah, definitely. So with that being said, tell us about your journey when you began to use sales funnels, and tell us about the business that you have now and how using sales funnels have affected the outcome of your business now.
Yeah, so I want to start off by giving you just a recent example, to be honest with you. And the recent example, it kind of mirrors my dating site. So, the goal of dating is to match people together, right? That is the goal of dating. Not so long ago, probably about 3 weeks ago, I started a networking type of venture. And the goal of that networking venture was to get people together, individuals who are professionals that desire to network with each other. There's a lot of networking type of groups that live on social media websites. I didn't want my networking type of business to live on social media. I wanted to live outside of social media. And in order for it to live outside of social media, obviously I use social media to gain those specific individuals' attention. So my sales funnel per se begins the conversation on social media, begins with saying, hey, are you looking to network with other individuals? Here are some of the benefits of networking with other individuals. So the conversation starts via social media. However, my call to action, when I tell them to go to a specific page, I send them to a landing page that I built inside of ClickFunnels. I send them to a specific landing page, and that specific landing page gave them an offer. I know you spoke about, Stephen Lawson earlier, and you probably know Russell Brunson, and he talks about offer creation all of the time. So I use the concept of offer creation to think about, okay, what is it that person desire? What is their internal belief? What is their external belief? And what are some of the objections that they're going to have? So those are the things that I listed on the page itself. And then when those specific individuals arrive to that specific page, they will go ahead and take action and join the specific group. In a very short period of time, I was able to kind of just have hundreds of people join that specific group using the whole methodology of sales funnel. So, for me, when I look at that, I say, you know what, if I had that knowledge or that skill set back when I started my dating site, I would have been in a completely different.
You'd have been in a completely different level right now of your dating. But you know what? It's better late than never.
Right. Definitely.
So how did you come to know of, and everybody know, when we talk about, there's so many different software out there you can use to create a sales funnel. We all know that. But obviously, Mr. Adonis and myself, we are fans of, and we use ClickFunnels. So that's why you, as the listeners and as the audience, you will hear that time and time again, because that pretty much is what we both promote, ClickFunnels. So now, with that being said, how did you first find out about them? Was it an ad? Did you come across maybe someone who was a mentor to you? How did you first find out about them?
So many years ago, when I hired the second marketing company and it did not work out, I went on a mission to learn marketing. I said, you know what, this can't be that bad. I mean, the first two companies did not do me well. Why don't I go and learn marketing? So I remember going to my first conference, and my first conference was in Tampa, Florida. I went to my first conference, and that's how I was introduced to the concept of sales funnel. And at the time, I had my dating website at the time. So I had my dating website at the time, and my dating website was completely programmed. So I know this, this sounds cliche. It's completely programmed, and I don't have the programming knowledge. So when I learned about the concept of sales funnel, And the power that the sales funnel had, I went back to my programmer at the time. I said, hey, programmer, I need you to build me these series of pages, and this is what I need the pages to do. And then my programmer quoted me $7,000 at the time. I'm thinking to myself, man, why are you quoting me $7,000? All I need is just a series of pages that's going to do X, Y, and Z. He was like, you know what? It's not the pages that's the issue. It's all of the back-end integration stuff that I have to do. I have to integrate it with this specific software. I have to integrate it with this email autoresponder, with all of these different things. So it costs a lot of money. So when it costs a lot of money, I said to myself, you know what? There must be a different option out there somewhere. And that is when I started kind of just do some searching. And at that point, I arrived to ClickFunnels. So that's how I arrived to, finding ClickFunnels and finding out that, hey, I can do this stuff on my own within an hour, and I don't have to pay $7,000.
Hey, you know what? You don't have to pay a dime. And really, you don't spend a lot of time creating either.
Right.
Because
right.
They come up with the templates of what you need, and all you do is customize it. You add your pictures and different things. So if you're not a programmer, it's something that you can very easily do. And I worked with WordPress a lot because I am a blogger. And so, what I kept getting so many problems with WordPress. I kept getting hacked into. And so I said, you know what? I'm just going to use ClickFunnels for what it is, and just go ahead and just dump my website and put my website on ClickFunnels. And so I remember listening to Stephen one day, and he actually has a website. And on one of the pages, it says, if you'd like for me to share this funnel with you, put your email here. And it was just awesome the way it was laid out. I was like, yes, I need this. And so he shared this. I already had an account with them or whatever. But he shared I clicked to get the funnel. And now that is where my website, kimber.org, is hosted. Okay. And so I'm really proud because, I don't have to go through no more hacking. I don't have to go through with the network being down. I just can go ahead and click on my link and everything is there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and so one of the good things about ClickFunnels, okay, not to mention hours and hours it took me to create landing pages. And different things like that, where I can go and use 10 minutes of my time, put up some graphics and this and that, and create a landing page. You know what I'm saying? And so it's so funny because about a year ago, I used ClickFunnels, but I was like, I don't know if it's worth the $97, or if it's not worth the money. And then I ended up coming back around to it a whole year later. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So once you get serious about your business and you find something that works, you gravitate towards it.
Right,
and I think that's what happened to me in my business. Now I use it for everything. Everything, whatever you name, landing pages. I have 2 memberships built on there as well. And, for those of you who are just joining in, we have Mr. Vladimir Adonis, podcast host and entrepreneur. And we're talking to him today about building a 6-figure business through sales funnels. And so if you're just joining us, thank you so much for joining us. We certainly appreciate you. So we were at asking you, okay, when you started and what led you to ClickFunnels. So what were you able to accomplish while using ClickFunnels in your business?
Just speed. I mean, so for example, my dating website had a whole lot of different categories of music. So you have, if you think about reggae music, you think about soca music, you think about compa music, you think about R&B. So you have all of these different, type of music. So what I was doing is I was sending an audience to that specific page, and my website, I should say, and my website had all of these different choices for them to select. Well, we all know that, sometimes, the individual may not be interested in all of those different categories of music, right? So if an individual is interested in just reggae music, I want to be able to take that person and send that person to a landing page that just talks about reggae music.
Reggae music, yes.
Reggae music that talks about this one specific thing, and then they can go ahead and take action. So, the difference for me was, hey, if you went back to my website before, you would find a tab with just a whole bunch of different things. So, from a confusion standpoint, the audience, the person who goes to that specific site, be like, oh, what do I choose? So
they click off because they're not even going to search for what they want,
right. Whereby, the ClickFunnels and the whole landing page and the whole funnel thing is designed to have one thing in mind, one call to action, and then one thing for specific individuals to do. So power of one.
Yes, and you know what? I also like the fact that it has an application funnel, in which that's something you can use too, and say, okay, well, what type of music do you like? You know, is it reggae? Is it gospel? Is it R&B? And then once they choose that, then that can lead them to the specific landing page. I mean, that is like so cool. You know
Right.
what I mean?
Right.
Like, it's really,
Yeah.
really cool.
Yeah.
And so I'm really, really happy to be not only a patron, but an affiliate for ClickFunnels. And so now so what is going to happen with the future of your business? Are you going to start a new business? What exactly now, are you still specifically just in the website business online, or do you have other things that you're trying to do?
So a couple of things that I'm excited about, right now is that I've just relaunched my podcast. I have a podcast that, I was kind of just posting general content on for about a year. So now I'm doing some interview series. And, as you indicated earlier, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to show other entrepreneurs what's possible. And the only time people know what's possible, to be honest with you, is when they can kind of just hear stories of other individuals. So I am bringing other individuals on board to say, hey, you know what? I failed. I've had a lot of mishaps along the way. However, in addition to me having those specific mishaps, I've had one or two things that's worked. So that is going to create belief. I know you follow Russell Brunson, and he talks about belief, and those all marketers talk about belief. Marketing is just belief. So I am trying to create belief inside of aspiring entrepreneurs and inside of people who may just want to kind of just give up along the way. That's one thing that I'm working on. The other thing I'm working on is I'm working on my networking group, which is called I'm Haitian. And, the goal here is to kind of just is to create a network of, Haitians in my specific area, whereby we can go ahead and network with each other from a professional standpoint, exchange resources, extract knowledge, do business together. And that's going very well as well. I host local marketing workshops in my local area for businesses as well. So I have different categories of businesses that come to those specific workshops. So for instance, I have network marketers that come to those specific workshops whereby I walk network marketers through marketing. So I have that, and I have the opportunity to kind of just ascend those specific individuals up. I have real estate agents that come as well, and those specific real estate agents, I have the opportunity to work with those specific individuals and then ascend them up as well. So those are some of the things that that I'm working on.
And I think you have a good market, because being that you are Haitian, I think a lot of people, or this is what I get, a lot of people that aren't in the United States that are looking for jobs, it's hard for them to find jobs. But we both know that with ClickFunnels, it's a worldwide thing.
Yeah, it is.
You know what I'm saying? So you can grab those networks and say, hey, do you want to work? You know what I'm saying? Do you want to work? And that provides them jobs from where they are. And they can market to Americans or other Haitians or whatever. And so that's the good thing about, someone, because I'm in these groups where you get people that are not in the U.S., always looking for jobs and, just different things, because they're trying to make it like we are. You know what I'm saying? To have something that's available to them, that if they're willing to stick it out and do the work, that they can definitely be successful at it. Me and you see it every day. You know what I'm saying? In ClickFunnels, people that are making 6, 7, and 8 figures. So we know that it is possible. And again, that's one of the reasons why I wanted to create this podcast. Am I a 6-figure earner? No. But that is a dream, and that is an aspiration. And I feel like that I can document my journey while talking to others who may also be going through the same path, or people who are already there as well. So, I'm really grateful for mentors like, Stephen, we mentioned him a lot, as well as Russell, and, other people that are in the industry to let us know it is possible.
Yes.
And we, being an entrepreneur, we fail at least 20 times before we get it right. You know what I'm saying? And, we've been there. And so now we're walking on a path that a lot of people have walked on and been successful. So we know that if we do the work and we stay consistent, that things will happen for us.
Right. Most certainly. Yeah.
So I'm really, really grateful. And again, I'm grateful for you for just coming on and telling us a little bit about your story. And then hopefully in the future, we'll definitely have you again, and you can tell us how things are going then. Because, again, people, they like to hear real, authentic stories. They don't want to hear BS. They don't want to hear, you videotaping in front of your $1 million home, which probably ain't yours. Okay, it probably ain't yours. You know what I'm saying? People want to hear real. They want to see real people.
Yeah, most
And
certainly.
when they can do that, that's how our network grows, and that's how people know, like, and trust us. So we're getting there. We're
Yeah,
getting there.
most
But is
certainly.
there anything else that you would like to leave our audience with? Any words of encouragement? If we may have maybe people that are listening that want to start a business, any business, or if they're a new business owner and they may get discouraged because it's not happening as quickly as they want it to, what advice would you give them?
There's supposed to be pitfalls in the journey, right? So anything worth having is going to require some work. So nothing great ever happens inside of the comfort zone. So when I think about comfort zone, I think about, hey, when I wake up in the morning, I'm about to eat, I'm about to walk, I'm about to do all of those different things. Those are all, comfort zone. However, when you start to kind of just do things and you hesitate and you think about it a couple of different times. So, for instance, for some people or for me, sometimes it's video, and I'm about to kind of just jump on the video. I have to second guess myself and think about it multiple times. And as I'm
Yeah.
thinking about it, my heart starts to kind of just beat a little bit faster. I know that, hey, I am doing something right. I'm living outside of my comfort zone, and I know that the more I live outside of my comfort zone, the more I can become, successful, to be honest with you. No one has it completely figured out. I don't have it completely figured out. I've had funnels that were not successful. At the same time, I've had funnels that were, successful. I think the most important thing is to kind of just take the first step, to be honest with you. Sometimes you can listen to other individuals and they can tell you that their version of it, but your version of it is probably going to be, unique, to be honest with you. So, for me, not too long ago, I created a funnel, and I thought for sure that, the front end of the funnel was going to be magnificent, and it turned out that it wasn't magnificent. But when I changed the content around, the front end of the content ended up being magnificent. So you're not going to know what that thing is unless you get started. So the number one thing you can do is just get started, and you'll pick up momentum along the way.
As in the words of my favorite blogger, do it scared.
I like that. I like that.
Just do it,
Yeah.
okay?
Yep.
Once again, I want to thank you so much for joining us. Let us know where we can find you, although we're also going to include them in the show notes. But let us know where we can find you on social media, your website. Just give it to us.
So certainly you can find me on social media at Vladimir Adonis, Vladimir, last name Adonis. You can find me via YouTube on using that specific name as well. So those are the places you can find me. You can find me via my podcast as well. These days I'm going to be producing and publishing content via there, Business Convo. And if you type that into the search engines, if you type that into iTunes, Google Play, or any of the podcast type of networks, you'll be able to kind of just find it and be able to find some content about me there as well.
Yeah, and again, we're going to have all your information in the show notes so our listeners know how to get to you, because, again, it's all about network. I've never been a scared person, so when I hit you up, I knew this was going to happen. And I'm so glad that we have connected, even as Facebook friends, and we can laugh, as colleagues on this business journey. So
Right.
once again, I really, really appreciate you. I thank you for accepting my request to interview you, and I know this will definitely help to uplift and be great information for someone who's starting their business.
Great.
Anything else?
That's it. I mean, thanks for having me. I appreciate you giving me the platform to kind of just speak to your specific audience. And you're on the right track, most certainly. And I like your enthusiasm, and I like I like the fact that you are taking action. That is very, very important. Action, and you're a woman of action. So great job.
Thank you. And we are definitely going to see you again. Take care.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
All right, there we have it. We had our special guest, Vladimir Adonis, who came and just gave it to us and told us about his business and how he's building through sales funnels. And so, again, we're going to ask you to go ahead and leave your comments on our podcast, and, meet us back here next week for another episode. Hey, and maybe individual episode, or I may have someone special. And so once again, we will see you next time on Network Savvy. Take care, everyone.